we've assigned PEACA to work very closely with the East African Committee of Parliament, and we propose amendments which we shall share with you the moment you find indeed they do fit within the vision you have for the region. Then, Your Excellency, we shall integrate them into our laws. I risk giving a speech, yet my boss gave me a speech to read, so allow me to read her remarks. But I must congratulate Professor Mumba for that insightful presentation, and I also thank our brother Martin Ngoga for always finding Uganda his home. So these are remarks from the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among. Your Excellency and members, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to this induction program for honourable members of Parliament. The Parliamentary Forum on East African Community Affairs is a platform that brings together members of national parliaments who have interest and passion for the East African community integration process. The forum was formed in 2018 to ensure effective parliamentary participation and influence on social, political, and economic integration of East Africa. PEACA is governed by an executive committee of members that is responsible for providing strategic oversight of the organization, as well as a functioning secretariat headed by the executive director. Currently, Your Excellency, the forum is comprised of over 100 members from national parliaments of member states and over 100 associate members derived from private sector, civil society, academia, senior citizenry, and foundations. This is an exciting initiative in the life of our democratic governments, as our parliaments are more diverse than ever before, certainly in terms of political parties represented, and as such offer such a unique opportunity to develop and deepen our democratic and integration culture. The Parliamentary Forum on East African Affairs provides a great set of priorities for corrective action by policymakers on regional political federation, free movement, economic rights, social and regional cohesion, as it does its oversight role in the implementation and regulation of these policies and resolutions in the national parliaments. As some of you may know, there is existence of non-tariff barriers which pose hindrance to the East African integration processes, and there is need to remove them to facilitate cross-border trade and opportunities in the region. The other important area for urgent attention is ensuring domestication and implementation of laid down acts of bills of East African community. Many useful observations and recommendations are made in East African Community Committee reports. All of you should be reassured that these will be taken forward. I urge you all to take seriously the induction program that has been ably put together by PEACA team. Please listen attentively to be able to appreciate East African community affairs and its opportunities so that your constituencies can be able to benefit from them. More importantly, we want all of you to play a very active role as representatives of our people, and this program will provide you with necessary insight into how best you can do that. The training for members of Parliament is an ongoing process, and we expect of you to indicate whether you have further training needs. There's a lot of work to be done by national parliaments. Our immediate focus should be in line with the 4 pillars of the East African integration process, namely the customs union, common market, monetary union, and political federation. We must also ensure that the program of parliament is designed to effectively do the oversight, monitoring, and evaluation of East African community and the other resolutions and requests. Like you, I look forward to serving in a parliament where inputs of members of East African community can be expressed constructively and freely without fear or favor. I hope that the debates we will have will be well informed, meaningful, and respectful after this induction. We also need to give serious attention to the ways in which members interact with the public on East African community affairs, and we must rededicate ourselves to the true meaning of keeping the doors of Parliament open. I hope you find the training useful, and I look forward to your recommendations on future training. Together we must continue the transformation of East African community and ensure it remains relevant to the many challenges our people face and the hope they have invested in all of us. I thank you, Right Honorable Anita Anet Among, Speaker, Parliament of Uganda. Your Excellency, before I invite you, the Right Honorable Rebecca Kadaga, who has been with us since morning, requested me to deliver her apologies, that she has a cabinet paper which you needed urgently, so she rushed to work on it, but she was here with us up to 2 p.m., Your Excellency. So now I take the opportunity to invite Your Excellency to address the members of Parliament and invited guests. Thank you.
Sit down, please. The Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Tarema, the Right Honorable Speaker Ngoga. The name is Ngoga, not Goga, Ngoga. Ngoga means energy. Somebody with the energy is Ainengoga. The same word in Kinyarwanda, same word in Kinyankole. The Right Honorable Amanya Mushega, Right Honorable Chidega, and all the other ministers and members of Parliament. I am glad to know that there are some members of Parliament who are concerned about East Africa. That's very good, because some of the leaders are just there. Leaders, just by name. Leaders, but leading nowhere. So I can now see that you may be trying to lead us somewhere. So it's good that you have invited us. You heard what Professor Mumba told you. The reasons for the integration must be clear in your heads. The first reason, I had Right Honorable Ngoga mentioning it. I think he had me talking about it some time ago, and he seems to be a good student. The first reason is prosperity for your people. You must answer the question of how you can ensure the prosperity of your people. This is what we have been telling people all along. This integration is not for the leaders, it is for the wananchi. Especially if the wananchi wake up and become wealth creators. When the wananchi become wealth creators, then the issue of integration comes up. A wealth creator is a creator of, a producer of a good or a service. Because that's how you create wealth in the modern way. In the past, in the pre-capitalist times, the pre-money times, you could have goats and you look after them on one hill, and you don't have to bother with the other villages beyond your area, because the goats and the cows were for only subsistence, for food. But with the development of the money economy, with capitalism, when capitalism came up, and modern economy, even socialism, socialist economy, then the issue of who buys what you produce becomes crucial. And this is where the parochialists, those who are parochial, really run into trouble. You must have heard of people called Banyankole. There are some people who live somewhere. I happen to know something about those people. This Banyankole, they have cows, they produce milk. In the past, they were drinking the milk. Produce milk, you drink it, that's the end of the story. But with the money economy, they now know that you can live better if you produce your milk and you sell it. They produce beef, they have beef. They have bananas. They also have other things. They have coffee, they have tea. For coffee and tea, those are taken by the international market. So even if the Ugandans didn't want to buy the Banyankole tea or their coffee, they would sell it abroad. But it would have to pass through the non-Banyankole area. Even that international trade will get to the ocean by going through parts of Uganda which are not Banyankole areas and parts of East Africa. So even for that, they need Uganda, they need East Africa. But specifically for the milk, the beef, and the bananas, the Banyankole don't buy from one another. Why? Because they are producing similar products. This Banyankole has got bananas, the neighbor has got bananas. The neighbor cannot buy from this one cannot buy from the other one. This one has got milk, the other one has got milk. This one has got beef, the other one has got beef. Therefore, although they have wealth, they have cow, they have land, they have water, but to turn it into wealth, into prosperity, they would be stuck. And that's why the Banyankole now need Uganda. That's why the rescuers, those who rescue Banyankole from poverty, are mainly the non-Banyankole who come to buy their milk, to buy their bananas, to buy their beef. So if you go and you find that a Banyankole has built a good house, know that that house, yes, is from his cows, but it is because some people from Kampala and from Jinja and from other parts of Uganda bought the milk of this man and bought his beef or bought his bananas. So that's why your movement, this movement you have heard of called NRM, from 1965 we saw this and we said no, instead of parochialism, for us we emphasize patriotism. you must love Uganda. Patriot means fatherland. You must love Uganda. Why love Uganda? Because these Banyankole need Uganda for their prosperity. But if you go to Acholi, you go to the border. I went to the border with Sudan in Lamo, in Acholi. The people there were quarreling with their neighbors, the Langi. They were saying, we produce simsim here in Lamo, near the border with Sudan. And these Langis from Rira come and pay us 1,000 shillings a kilo. When they get to Kampala, they sell it at 10,000. That was another quarrel. But still, you could not miss the linkage that the Achoris on the border with Sudan, this one is producing simsim, the neighbor is producing simsim. The neighbor cannot buy from this one cannot buy from this one. The only people who buy this simsim are we the Camparians, whatever you call us, who don't produce simsim, who buy it from the Achoris. So the Achoris are liberated from poverty by us, we who don't, I have never produced a kilo of simsim in my life. But we use it. And who are producing it? The Achoris on the border with Sudan. And we are the ones who buy it here in Kampala. So therefore, this is the first step. That's why the NRM says, principle number one of the national resistance movement is that if you want prosperity for your people, love Uganda. If you say, I am a Munyankole, but I don't care about Uganda, I care more about Ankole, you are a liar. You are actually enemy number one of the Banyankole. Because if the Banyankole did not have Uganda, they would not be prosperous. So, by you being against Uganda, you are against the prosperity of the Banyankole. You are enemy number one. So when you hear all these opportunities, talking about tribes, about religion, those are enemies first and foremost of their own people, of their very people. Yeah. In the school system, I was never assisted by a single Munyankole when I was studying. The only people who helped me to study were two Baganda, one white man, and somehow the local governments were giving scholarships at some stage, and also the government of Uganda. Now, the two Baganda who helped me to go to, this was before, in the colonial times, before the economy had become more monetized. But even at that stage, we had one fat Muganda from Barara. It was called Bukenya by Banyankole. That's a Bukenya, but for the Banyankole, you know, they destroy everything. His name was Bukenya, but the Banyankole called him Bukenya. Now this fat man would come to Ntungamo, our area, in the monthly cattle auction market, and buy cows, including my father's cows, and take them to Mbarara for slaughter. There was not a single Munyankole who was involved in the cattle trade that time. It was only this Muganda man, Bukenya, and then there was another Muganda man from Kampala. Apparently he was well known here in Kampala. He was called Warusimbi Mpanga. He's the one also who used to come and buy cows and bring them to Kampala here. So these are the ones who would buy my father had cows, but he needed money. He couldn't take a cow to the school to pay school fees in a cow. He had to convert the cow into money and go and pay my school fees. But the Banyankole were not buying those cows. Now the other man who helped me was a man called, he was a white man called Shea. Shea was based in Ishaka, and at that time Chirembe Mines had started, this Chirembe Mines for copper, and Shea was buying cows from the markets and taking them to Chirembe Mine for the miners. These are the three people who helped me to get education. Later on, the local government and the other people came in, the central government here, to give us either half or full bursaries. So therefore, point number one, if you are talking about prosperity of your people, you are not talking about parasitism. If you are not a parasite, you must love Uganda. You must love Kenya. You must love Tanzania. You must love Rwanda. You must love Burundi. All those people who talk about sectarianism are enemies, first and foremost, of their own people, of the very group they claim to be speaking for. But in our languages here, which don't move with a lot of speed, we say "Tubatu chali yao," as if they were doing nothing. Tubatu chali yao. When we were still there, the Ugandans woke up. Being asleep is also a good thing, because when you are asleep, you don't know where danger will come from. A snake can come and enter the bedroom if you are asleep, and it will bite you and you die peacefully. You will not know. But when you wake up, you start seeing things. Now, these Ugandans, in the past, they were really asleep. Like, for instance, in 1986, the production of maize was apparently 200,000 tons or something like that per year. Now, the Ugandans are producing 5 million tons of maize. In Uganda, Ugandans don't consume so much maize because they have got other foods. They have got bananas, they have got cassava, so they don't eat maize so much. So within Uganda, the consumption is 1 million tons. So you get a surplus of 4 million tons. So where do you sell it now? We are stuck. The internal market cannot take more than 1 million tons. The milk, the other Banyankole issue I told you. Production in 1986 was 200 million liters a year. Production now is 2.9 billion liters. The internal demand is only 800 million. So there's a surplus of 1.9 billion liters. Where do you sell this? The Banyankole are stuck. The Ugandans now, it's not just the Banyankole, it's all of them. You come to Ebukado, to sugar cane. The production of sugar is now 700,000 tons. The internal consumption, 380,000 tons. Surplus, 320,000, and growing. Where do you sell the sugar? And you go on, you can go on item by item, steel bars, imitayimbwa, you go to cement, you go to soap, you go to the other products, you have got surpluses. Problem is market now. Now, that's where East Africa comes in. That's why we, the Pan-Africanists, we are telling you that you people, you don't only need to unite Ugandans, you must, if you can, unite East Africans also. So therefore, this is reason number one of why Pan-Africanism is not just a sentimental feeling. It is a rational and unavoidable need. Either you do it or you become traitors of your people. If you see leaders who say they don't care about integration, they are definitely traitors of their own people, whether they know it or they don't know it. And these areas will never develop. Do you need examples? Yes. We've got very good laboratories. There is what they call North America, which has got 3 countries: Canada, United States, and Mexico. The whole continent has got only 3 countries. Then neighboring, there is South America, which has got a large number of countries. The countries of South America are very rich in terms of natural resources. They've got a lot of resources. The Amazon River, the biggest river in the world, is in South America. The forest, the minerals, they are all in South America. But South America and the Caribbean are centers of misery now. And you see them walking on foot from, I don't know where, El Salvador, the other one, Uruguay, what's the other one? El Salvador, there's another one called Honduras, walking to go to the USA. These were all former colonies. There were British colonies in the United States, what is the United States now, and there were Spanish colonies in Latin America. But in 1776, when the British colonies got independence, they united. The 13 of them formed a federation. And then gradually they built on it. And because of that, they built the most powerful country in the history of man, up to now. It's one of the most powerful countries in the world. Why? Just because of uniting the market. Neighboring Latin America, a lot of wealth, but no integration. You can't succeed if you are a businessman in El Salvador. How do you succeed? The market is 2 million people. Then you produce, you can't sell to Honduras, you can't sell to the other one, you can't. People give up and run away. Business people run away, go to invest abroad. When I was in primary 3, 1955, at a place called Chamati, we were being taught that Argentina is one of the richest countries in the world because it had a lot of beef and wheat, and it is the one which was feeding the whole world. Now, if you look for Argentina now, it is one of the poorest countries in the world. What happened? The richness of Argentina and was based on selling beef and wheat to Europe. Now, when the Europeans formed the European Union, they shut out the beef of Argentina, they shut out the beef of the wheat of Argentina, and it became one of the poorest countries. So therefore, market is a very important stimulus for prosperity. So that's why we support this integration. Whether you like me or you don't like me, you need me. That's the reason number one. Now,
Smart 24, driving business.
Up next on Smart 24 TV.
Sabasajja Kabaka Nze Musajawo Wim Van Helleputte Senkulu wa MTN Abakozi ba MTN bona awamu na bantu bo wano mukatale ichibuye
Nafe abakatale kennatete nafe abokatale ko kalerwi
kuyozayoza n'essanyu lingi
okutuuka ku matikira ago agabirimu omwenda tusaba Mukama Katonda ayongere okukuuma
ng'olamu n'Obuganda
wangala aibene wangala nnyo maaso moji.
Smart 24, driving business.
That you are